For USCFootball.com, I'm Keely Eure here with Shotgun Spratling for instant analysis of USC's Tuesday practice of Oregon State week. Now, Shotgun, I don't think we ever paid as much attention to USC's tunnel before practice. We wanted to see injury updates specifically about the quarterbacks. Now, we saw Kedon Slovis come out in full pads. He was a full participant, but we didn't see one guy, Jackson Dart. He was not in attendance at practice today, so that meant Miller Moss got second-team reps. What did you see overall at practice, Shotgun?
I mean, I think the first thing you note is that Kedon Slovis was back, was able to move his neck side to side, was able to make the throws, looked back to his former self. So I think that's a very positive note for USC to get their starting quarterback back after losing him on that first drive of the game. Jackson Dart wasn't there. So Dante Williams said, if he doesn't practice this week, well, then there's no quarterback competition. He's not going to be in the mix basically. So you won't have to worry about that topic anymore. So we'll see if he does show up tomorrow, or if we hear that he practices on Thursday. But right now it looks like it's Kedon Slovis' job, and we'll see where they go from there. Miller Moss, I thought, had a really nice day, throwing the ball and stepping up, and I think that he's kind of preparing just in case Kedon's neck, he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed or something, and that neck flares up again. So he's got to prepare like he's going to be in the game. And, with USC's track record with quarterbacks getting injured, he's got to be prepared as well to go in a game like Jackson Dart was last week.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you watched the instant analysis from Saturday's game, I gave a warning. I said Dante Williams is not very forthcoming when it comes to injuries. That only continued today, and to be quite honest, it was a weird post-game media or post-practice media availability. It was a lot of vague answers, a lot of we'll see on Saturday. We got to hear from Kedon Slovis and Graham Harrell, but no one really said anything concrete about the quarterback situation.
No, there's a lot of question marks left, and I think everyone has been coached up to not give any real answers this week, and I think they're trying to keep Oregon State in the dark. They're also keeping the media in the dark. And, there's a lot of TV cameras here. I don't know if they got the sound bites they're looking for, but we definitely didn't get any of the facts that we were kind of looking for and the information there. So we'll see what we see tomorrow with our own eyes, and rather than trusting what they're going to tell us about the situation. A lot of it was, if Jackson comes out and practices and, performs at the level, then there'll be a competition. But otherwise, I think it's going to be Kedon Slovis right now. So we'll see what the future holds the next couple of days as far as who shows up to practice and who practices well.
Mm-hmm. Do you find it strange that no one was pretty bold about Kedon Slovis saying, hey, he's going to be our guy?
No, because I think they may be doing that behind closed doors. If Jackson Dart is going to be out for this weekend, they may be behind closed doors saying, Kedon, you're our guy, you're going to be the guy, this, and letting them know, hey, we're going to keep it, kind of try to keep people in the dark during this week. So he probably would have been coached up too. He gave a lot of short answers and said, I'm just trying to be ready for Saturday. Just trying to get ready for Saturday.
Yeah.
That was his response to pretty much everything. Not a lot of questions there. I think his scrum went like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Really quick. Not a lot of depth on the answers. Same thing with Dante Williams. 1 and 2 sentence answers really quick, and, moving it on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Now, we did have some individual interviews that were okay, felt kind of normal. You got to talk to Liam Jimmons. How did that go?
Yeah, I talked to Liam Jimmons about the offensive line play and about, their struggles with the twist and the movement that Washington State had. And he said, they didn't prepare well enough for it. And he put the fault on the players and the coaches as well, that they had to do a little bit better, that they should have prepared harder for that. And you talked to Clay McGuire, and it sounded like it was kind of the same thing, that, that they needed to do better. And, Liam Jimmons said, we're going to get it fixed this week, and basically said that they want to get the run game and be able to establish the run game a little bit better than they did last week for sure. So I think that they took the responsibility for it and said, let's fix it, let's go and get it back, go get it fixed and go with it. But they said that was the thing that was giving them a lot of issues, was all the movement that Washington State had. So they prepared for it, but probably didn't prepare enough for it.
Yeah, McGuire echoed the same thing. He said that the offensive line just didn't perform as they know they can. They didn't have enough effort, and he said maybe we were reading too much of our clippings. We were too lax as coaches. So it sounds like they're trying to take a step forward this week. But as far as that battle with Jonah Monheim and Jalen McKenzie played all of the second half against Washington State. And I asked Clay McGuire, did you expect to do that? Was that in the game plan? He said, no, I put Jalen McKenzie in, and then we started rolling, so we just kept going forward with that. It sounds like they're going to see now going forward whether or not Jonah or Jalen is the best fit.
Yeah, and Jalen McKenzie got the first team reps at right tackle starting to start the day out. They mixed and matched a little bit. We even saw Andrew Voorhees at left tackle at one point, Liam Jimmons at right tackle. So I think just giving some extra options out there and making sure guys know that no position's safe. You got to go out and perform each day. And then Jalen McKenzie actually came out of practice. We saw him leave with a trainer, so we'll see where his status is going forward in this week, if how that competition will play out based on him being available as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did ask McGuire about that, and he was like, he's fine. He should to finish practice. So we'll see. Sometimes coaches expect a little bit more than what's actually happening. So we'll keep an eye on that. But
with this coaching staff in particular, a lot of times it's like, oh, he's good, and then you don't see him for a couple of days. So, I don't think we're getting the same answers that we were getting pre-Clay Helton's firing. So that may just be a new directive from the new interim head coach, and even from above, just to say, let's not give any extra information than we have to give. So we can tell you who was here and who wasn't, and who didn't practice. And one of those guys that didn't practice was Solomon Tulialapupu, a guy who didn't play on Saturday. We haven't heard much about him, but he didn't do anything today. And also Drake London was dressed out, did some conditioning early, didn't practice, didn't go through any of the drills or anything, and then declined to talk to the media. So his status is still up in the air as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, it was basically just evaluating the quarterbacks today and trying to figure out that situation. Any other observations from practice today?
No, I mean, they're going to be bearing down on the Oregon State stuff right now, and I think they really have to because, everyone's kind of overlooking Oregon State a little bit. It's a quality team. Jonathan Smith's got that team, that program going in the right direction. And, once they figure out the quarterback situation, which I think they've done now, I think that they'll have an opportunity to perform pretty well and continue to get better and better as the season goes along. So not a game that USC can overlook. Definitely, they got to come out and perform, and that starts with the quarterbacks. And that's where we're going to see, is Keaton Slovis, is he showing that confidence? Is he, firing the ball in there? Does he have any, is there any limited mobility or anything like that from the injury on Saturday? Those are things to keep an eye on. But again, I think right now he's the starter. Unless Jackson Dart shows up tomorrow and just completely balls out and Keaton Slovis is throwing pick left and right, I think that's what you're going to see on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. All right, any final thoughts, Chuck, before we wrap this one up?
No, one thing I wanted to point out was Kalen Bullock today.
Oh, yeah.
Was a monster. The kid continues to impress every single time you watch him. He had at least one pick. He made a one-handed pick in the back of the end zone that may or may not have got his feet in. It was way away from us, so we couldn't tell. But he just continues to show up. Closing speed is terrific. He's a guy that is going to be pushing those veterans to see who actually can start at those positions. And, maybe USC tries to use a little bit more dime, a little bit more quarters defense like they played against Washington State to get him on the field with those other guys because he continues to make a lot of plays.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for USC's Tuesday practice of Oregon State Week. For Shotgun Spratling, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.